Hi, it's me, Lois, and thank you for returning to Shades of Beauty. I know it's been a long time since I recorded any YouTube videos, but life happened, so please forgive me. But let's continue. Recently, someone responded to one of my previous videos asking for the steps to my nail regimen, so I figured that would be a good opportunity to come back and record a video and give you the steps that I go through to do my manicure. Now, I just did this manicure yesterday, so I will not be removing this polish, but I will show you the products I use and the steps I go through to do my manicure. So if you're interested, please continue to watch. So the first step when I start my manicure is obviously to remove any polish that I might have on my nails. So I use one of three types of removers. Now let me start by saying this. I'm not a stickler for brand. I know there are some people who are diehard certain brand of remover and that's all they use. That's not the case with me. I will pretty much use whatever I can find on sale at the time that I need it. Just so happens the bottles I'm about to show you now are all the same brand because Sally had them on sale when I needed them. No, so 98% of the time, again, my nails are all natural. I mean, I'm not wearing acrylics or an overlay or anything like that. So 98% of the time when I'm removing my polish, I'm going to use acetone, just Sally Beauty or whoever's acetone remover. Now, if I am removing glitter and I don't have any patches on my nails, I would use pure acetone. Now, pure acetone is just that. If you were to look at the back of the bottle under ingredients, it says acetone. No, there are no other additives. A lot of people don't like to use acetone or pure acetone because they say that it's drying to their nails. Some people have been known, from what I understand, to add glycerin to their acetone. I don't need to do that. What I do is, in my regimen, I use several different oils during my process, so I'm not really concerned about drying out my nails. Now, if I were an acrylic nail wearer, or if I have patches on any of my nails, what I use is a non-acetone remover. This is not as strong or as detrimental to acrylics or patches as an acetone or pure acetone remover would be. So again, if I am an acrylic wearer or I have patches on my nails, I use a non-acetone. If I'm 100% natural, I use an acetone. And if I'm trying to remove acrylic nails, or this is what I use for my cleanup process, and I'll explain that later, I use pure acetone remover. Again, I'm not a stickler for any one brand. I've used several different national brands, several different generic brands. They pretty much all do the same for me, so that's what I do. So after I've removed my polish, the next step is to file and buff my nails. I use, again, not a stickler for brand, but I use a coarse grade file. This just happens to be one I picked up from Sally, and I file my edges. And when I say I file my edges, if you notice the way I hold my file parallel to the side of my nail, and you can see my nail sides are pretty straight. I have a dear friend who used to own a nail salon, and she used to always fuss at me when I would go for my manicures because I would file away my edges. So you can see my edges, the edges of my nails are pretty straight. Now I do have a natural hump in my nail, so they're not going to all be perfectly straight, but they come very close. So again, this is to help add the strength to my nails. So again, I file my nails with the coarse grade file straight. Now, after I use the coarse grade file, I then use my glass file. Now, again, I'm not a stickler for brand. I happen to have found this Essie file a few years back when Trade Secret was having one of their annual warehouse sales. I believe these normally run between $10 and $12. But I was fortunate enough that I actually found two of the large ones and one small one for like $2 and $3 respectively. And I keep the small one in my purse, and I have two large ones that I keep in my nail station. Now, nail files, I like them because the old-fashioned emery boards, which many of you may not even remember, or the harder files like the one I mentioned, they leave minute tears in your nail, and they're liable to catch on your clothes or your nylons, and can cause breaks and snags. But a glass file has the ability, or a glass file seals your nails so that it's very smooth and there are no rough edges and nothing to snag on. So after I file my nail with the coarse file, I go over the edges again with my glass file just to make sure that they're smooth and there's nothing to snag them on. Now I prefer a square, I don't know if you can see it, a square or squoval nail shape. Again, that's just my personal preference. The stiletto nails I've seen, the duckbill, God help us, nails I've seen, the almond, that's just not what I like. I read an article once that said your nail should actually be shaped, should reflect the cut or curve of your cuticle. If that were the case, I'd have a more oval or a rounded nail, but again, I prefer a square or squoval nail, squoval at best. So now after I've filed my nails with my coarse file and then my glass file, if I have any ridges, I go and get my buffers. Now there's several buffers that I use. If I have ridges, serious ridges, I'll use a coarse grade buffer. Oh, let me say this. Please, please, please don't ever over buff your nails. I did that once where I actually buffed a hole into my nail, my actual nail, where I was just paper thin, tissue paper thin away from my actual underneath the nail, and that was so sore and so tender and took forever to heal. So I'm just begging you, please don't over buff your nails. But in the event that you do need to buff, I use a coarse buffer first, and buffers are much like sandpaper, where the coarse buffer will get off, the bulk of the material or nail, and then I use a medium grade to smooth the nail, and then I use a fine grade just to make sure the nail is actually smooth. So those are the three buffers I use. I don't necessarily use these each time I do a manicure, but if for whatever reason I need a buffer, these are in my arsenal. Now we all have those polishes that we love, and no matter how much we love them and how many coats of base coat we use, the polish will stain your nails. I love China Glaze Rodeo Fanatic, and I don't care how many coats of base coat I use, that polish always stains my nails. And what I use to deal with that is a Polar Block buffer that I also get from Sally. I know a lot of people use lemon juice. I've even heard some people use bleach, toothpaste, whitening paste, peroxide, all that. If it works for you, I'm happy for you, but what works for me, and it's just not as painful as as time consuming, is the Polar Block buffer. And again, I just buff the stain out, and I'm good. I may not be Snow White good, but I'm good enough to actually go bare nailed. Now the next step after I have filed and buffed my nails is to remove my cuticles. So I've used several different cuticle removers. I've tried the Blue Cross cuticle remover, and I'm not saying that any of these are bad and that they don't work, but I just have a preference. So again, I've tried the Blue Cross cuticle remover, Develop 10, I believe I got this from Ulta, the Lemon Brite Varoom cuticle remover. But what I've found works best for me, is easiest to find, is the Sally Hansen Instant Cuticle Remover. It's easy to use, and it doesn't take much time. Again, I just apply it to each of my cuticles, just a little bead of it, each cuticle. I rub it in and let it sit for no more than 15 seconds. And then I use a cuticle remover. Now, a cuticle remover tool. Now this is an orange wood stick. Most of us have probably seen these before. And you just, work it in and push back the cuticles and remove any dead skin. There is another tool that I have in my arsenal, and I tell you about this with, again, a heed of warning. Now this is a metal cuticle remover. It's got a flat edge, and it's got a spear-like edge. And again, if you're new to giving yourself manicures, or if you have a very low threshold of pain, I would not suggest this, but this is something that's out there. Again, you just gently push back your cuticles and remove any dead skin. Now if you do this too hard, you can actually damage your nail and cause ridges going forward. So again, I ask you to be very careful when using this. Now there is a third tool that I just recently purchased, and I used it for the first time yesterday and I actually like it. This is a plastic cuticle remover with a rubber tip. Now this, use it the same way. I'm gently pushing back the cuticles with the plastic tip and then again with the rubber tip, and this is much less damaging to the actual nail because you're not having to worry about that metal. So again, there are 3 tools that I have, but with, you know, that being the orange wood stick, the metal one, and the plastic one. If I had to choose only one, it would most likely be the plastic with the rubber tip. So when you're using your when you're cleaning your cuticles, again, I just ask you to be careful because you can damage your cuticles and also damage your nails. Now there is another tool that I use, and a lot of people are dead set against them, and again, if you're new to giving yourself manicures, I would not suggest this because this could actually do some serious damage. But I'm talking about nippers. Now again, these are nippers. They will cut, so be careful. I'm trying to find something to cut. This will cut. In a pinch, I've used these to clip a nail. So if I have a hangnail, I use this to remove the hangnail. So again, I just ask you to be careful if you use these and are not used to using these, but this is a tool that is available to you. You may ask, when I cut my nails? I actually forgot to mention this when I was filing. I very seldom actually use a clipper to cut my nails. The only time I really do it is if I have a break and I just want to get rid of that nail. I will, and this is, you'll see this is a straight edge nail clipper. I will clip from each side the nail to remove the excess. But I very seldom use a true clipper. So at this point, my nails are normally pretty dusty and in need of some moisturization. So I have developed, and I will put it in a down box, my own cuticle oil. So if you're interested in what I do to develop my own cuticle oil, again, that'll be in the down box. But if you're looking for a commercial brand, what I suggest and also like is the Sally Hansen Vitamin E Nail and Cuticle Oil. This one, much like mine, has vitamin E in it. This one has 4,000 IUs of vitamin E. And again, this is a good commercial grade product if you're looking for a cuticle oil. Much like my own, it comes with a, I keep mine in an old nail polish bottle. It comes with a brush, like a nail polish brush. I just apply it to my cuticles and underneath my nails, underneath my free edge, you know, twice a day, at least twice a day, once in the morning and once at night, and I massage it in. And during my manicure process, I massage it in, and I also use a good hand cream just to get my hands, you know, out of that dusty state. So once I've done that, it's time to wash my hands. And I use my Old Faithful, you can see it's well-worn nail brush. And I got this from Sally several years ago. I think I paid like 69 cents for it. But I use warm soapy water and I wash my hands. I just wash my hands really good to remove all the dust, the oil, the debris from the filing and the manicuring. At this point, I also like to use an exfoliator. This is one, Cuticle, that I got from Zoya when I placed a Zoya order. And this is their Grapefruit Sunrise. I also like Philosophy's Salt Scrubs. And one of my favorite drugstore brands is Tree Hut, and I love their body scrub, but I also use that just to exfoliate my hands. So at that point, I have removed my polish, I've filed and buffed my nails, I've removed my cuticles, I've washed my hands, and I've moisturized my hands. So I come back getting ready to start the application of my polish. But again, I can't stand dry hands, so I like to do a good moisturization of my hands. And some of the brands that I use, one of the brands I actually did a blog post about, a while back, is my Holy Grail drugstore brand, Gold Bond Ultimate with Shea Butter body lotion or therapy lotion. And this is actually an excellent product. I love it. Another one that I bought, or that I like, and have used for quite a while. Now this packaging has changed, so if you go to Bath and Body Works, don't look for this packaging because it has changed. But this is the True Blue Spa Look My New Hands Paraffin Lotion. This is also a good product. There are a few others that you can find in your local drugstore. Vaseline Healthy Hand and Nail is also an excellent product. Curel Hand and Cuticle Therapy is a good one. One that I recently was introduced to through Influencer, and if you're not familiar with Influencer, I'll put a link below. But this is a Sally Hansen product also. It's the Nails and Cuticle Hand Cream that's supposed to provide 24-hour moisture, and it also has shea butter. So this is also a good product that I've recently tried. And then a new product, or a fairly new product that was recently sent to me to try and review, is by a brand that I love. It's Aveeno Positively Ageless. So this is for the maturing hands. This is the Positively Ageless Skin Strengthening Hand Cream. So this is one that I will be trying and will do a review at a later date. And another product that I use, and I keep this in my purse, is Badger Cuticle Cream. This is similar to Burt's Bees Lemon Cuticle Cream. Every morning, when I have a few minutes, I just take it and I rub it into my cuticles. Doesn't take a lot, and I just massage it into my cuticles, you know, throughout the day. Whenever I get, you know, if I wash my hands, I'll, you know, massage a little bit in, just to keep your cuticles moisturized. So those are the products that I use to actually moisturize my hands. Now at this point, I'm ready to start my applying the, you know, base coats and applying the actual polish. So those are the next steps that we'll cover. So at this point, again, we've removed the polish, filed and buffed our nails, we've removed our cuticles, we've moisturized our hands, we've washed our hands, and we're ready to apply the polish. But if you recall, we just applied moisturizer and oils to our hands, so it is imperative that before you apply anything as far as polish to your nails, you remove all traces of oil. So what I use is plain old alcohol. This is just alcohol I have in a spray mist bottle, and I use this and just some plain old cotton rounds. I spray the cotton round with the alcohol, and I wipe down each of my nails to remove any traces of oil from the nail. And then I get ready to polish my nails. Now I start with the treatment. I use one of two products. A product that I have been using for years, and this is available at Sally Beauty, is Nail Life Nail Revitalizer. I use the original formula. They also have a formaldehyde-free formula, but this is one of the two products that I use. I'd say 80% of the time this is the product I use. If I don't use the Nail Life, I use OPI's Nail Envy. There's no rhyme or reason why I switch between the two, just sometimes I feel like it. I'm a Gemini and I switch out sometimes. So these are one of the two treatments I use before I start applying polish. So this is the treatment, and then I use one of two products to strengthen my nails. This is, again, the product I use, I'd say 80–90% of the time, and I've also used this product for years. And this is the, I think it's American Beauty is the brand. It's called Ageless, and this is available at Sally Beauty also. And if I don't use this, the product that I use is another Sally Hansen product, and this is Sally Hansen Hard as Wrap. This is also an acrylic gel polish or treatment. So again, now at this point, that would be 2 coats of treatment products that I've added to my nails. And then lastly, before I apply a polish, I use an adhesive base coat. Now this is also a Nail Life product. This is Nail Life Gripper. There is another product that I've heard about. It's by Orly. I believe it's called Bonder. I've not used Bonder. I've used Nail Life for as long as I can remember. So as far as I know, I would say you could switch them out. But again, this is the product that I use. And so at this point, I've applied 3 coats of product to my nails, and I'm ready to apply polish. I know this may seem like a lot, but again, this is what works for me, and this is why when I polish my nails, granted I don't go that long, but I can easily get 2 to 3 weeks of wear out of my polish without any chipping. Yes, I'll have growth and some tip wear, but I very seldom have my polish chip. So again, I told you I just did this manicure yesterday, so I won't go into applying polish, but I will tell you what this is. This is the Orly, one of my favorite brands. I love their brush handle. This is Orly Cotton Candy on all of my nails, with exception of my accent nail. My accent nail is China Glaze Medallion. This is from a collection they put out a few years back. It was like, oh, I think it was like 50 different glitter polishes they released all about the same time, and then this is Medallion. It has it's a gold glitter with holographic glitter in there also, so just depending on how the light hits it, you can see the different color sparkles. So after I have applied my polishes, it's time for a top coat. I'm a very impatient person. I normally do my manicure before bed, so I need a fast dry top coat. There's several I have used. I'm sure everybody knows about Seche Vite. Seche Vite is a very popular top coat, and I'd say 80% of the time I use Seche Vite. But Seche Vite doesn't agree with all polishes. Some polishes and Seche Vite just do not get along, and Seche Vite will cause shrinkage. Shrinkage is when you will actually see your polish peeling, not peeling, but pulling back from your nail, so it actually looks like you have reverse nail growth, where you normally see nail growth at the cuticle area. It'll not peel back, but push back or pull back from the edge, so it looks like it's actually shrinking back from your nail. So on those occasions, if I don't use Seche Vite, one of my favorites, which is no longer available, and I'm hounding the company to re-release it, is a Beauty Secret product available at, or used to be available at, Sally Beauty. This is a fast dry top coat. They still have a top coat, but it's just not a fast dry top coat. According to the company, they're telling me they are working on the formula to re-release it. So as soon as I see it, you'll hear it from me. So this is the Beauty Secret fast dry top coat. Another top coat that I found this one in Walmart, is Pro FX Quick Dry. It's not as good as Beauty Secrets. It's definitely not as good as Seche Vite, but it's better than going to bed with wet nails. It does dry faster than just letting them air dry. A product that I recently, or two products that I recently was introduced to, are two Sally Hansen products. This one is a Sally Hansen Insta Dry, and this one is also very good, and I've not had any problems with shrinkage, so this is right up there with my Seche Vite, maybe just beneath my Seche Vite, but it's not causing me any shrinkage as of yet. Another product from Sally Hansen that I was just recently sent to review, I've not had a chance to, but we'll give you a full-on review, is Sally Hansen's Diamond Flash. This is a fast dry top coat also, so I will soon be trying this one and hope that it will not give me any shrinkage and not cause me some of the issues that I have with Seche Vite. Seche Vite, another thing, although I love Seche Vite, when it gets old, or you get maybe down halfway down the bottle, it starts to get very thick and gloppy, and so you need to thin it out. And let me give you a little point. Please, please, please don't thin out your polish with remover. For some reason, somewhere out there, I don't know where, some people got the notion that you could thin your nail polish with nail polish remover, which really doesn't make any sense. There is a product to thin nail polish. There's several products actually. What I use, again, this is an old bottle, so the packaging has changed, but it's Beauty Secrets nail polish thinner. The company that makes Seche Vite has their own thinner. I think it's called Restore, to help thin out Seche Vite. I've used this non-Seche Vite brand to thin out my Seche Vite, and it works just fine, and it does not impact the effectiveness of my Seche Vite. So those are the top coats that I use, the fast dry top coats. On occasion, there may be a need for I call them specialty products. If the buffing that I talked about earlier didn't work and I still have ridges in my nails, I can use a Ridge Filler base coat, and this one is by Orly. This is the Orly Ridge Filler, and I'll use this in place of one of the 3 base coats I mentioned earlier. And also, if I'm using a holographic nail polish, if you've ever experienced using holographic, they can be difficult to apply. Oftentimes they streak with a regular base coat. So, like the Layla holographic base coat, the Layla holographic nail polishes, some of the China Glaze holographic nail polishes, what I use is Nufo's Aqua Base to help in the application of any holographic nail polishes I have. Now, during the winter, for some reason, I don't do this during the summer, but during the winter I like a matte nail polish, and there are some brands that actually produce matte nail polishes. OPI had a line of matte nail polishes a couple of years ago, but with this product you could actually mattify any of your polishes. This is Essie's Matte About You. Again, I purchased this one when Trade Secret was having their warehouse sale, and I think I paid $2 or $3 for this. So, but I have seen it in Ulta still. So again, this is, and I believe Hard Candy has a mattifying top coat, if I'm not mistaken. What I would love, because again, I normally do my manicures at night and then I go to bed, say a half an hour after I do my nails, I would love a fast dry mattifying top coat, because this is just a regular top coat. A regular, as far as speed and drying is concerned, it's not a fast dry. So I have to stay awake so that my nails don't smudge or get the sheet marks. Using a regular fast dry would negate the mattifying. So I would love, manufacturers, if you're listening, a fast dry mattifying top coat. So those are the products I use for actually polishing my nails. But let me give you a couple of little secrets. I'm not vain, and I am, as I said, maturing. So when I polish my nails, if you have 20/20 vision, I'm happy for you. But when I'm polishing my nails, I use readers. I just went to my local Walgreens and got some magnifying readers. And this helps tremendously as far as getting up close to the cuticle without flooding my cuticles. So again, this is one of my little tricks to get closer to the cuticle. As far as the cleanup process is concerned, I use a couple of different brushes. These are the brushes that I picked up from Michael's. They're nothing special. They're just, art brushes. And I use these with my pure acetone I mentioned earlier, and I clean up around the cuticle any excess polish I've gotten on the nail or in the gap line that I like to have on my nails. So this is what I use to clean up my nails. Pretty much at that point, within about a half an hour, 45 minutes, I'm ready for bed and I go to sleep. Next morning, no sheet marks. As if I use a fast dry, no sheet marks, and I'm good for, I never go that long, but I'm good for at least 2 weeks. I tend to change my manicure at least twice a week. There is one point I'd like to make. I used to be a nail biter, but made a bet with my best friend at the time, back I was like 14, on who could let the nails grow the longest, and I won, of course. But let me say this: my nails and their ability to grow fairly quickly is genetic. My mother's nails grow, my father's nails grew, so I can't take not even a portion. Yes, I have to take care of my nails, and if I don't, they'll break. But I can't take, more than 50. I can't take more than 25% of the credit, because again, this is genetic. And if I don't take care of my nails, I'll be back to the nubs. And if as long as I keep my fingers out of my mouth, I'm not going to bite them. But I do have to do things internally to help also. So on a daily basis, if I remember, I also take a multivitamin. Again, I'm not a stickler for, what brand, but, whatever I find on sale at the time. This is GNC's brand I found on sale. that I take. I don't always take it because oftentimes multivitamins upset my stomach, but I try to remember to take a multivitamin. I tend to take one in the morning and one at night because this, depending on the brand, this requires that you take 2 tablets a day. So again, I take one in the morning and one at night. But more important than the vitamin to me, I try to, on a daily basis, remember to take my biotin. I take 5,000 mcgs of biotin. I started taking this not for my nails but for my hair when I started my healthy hair journey, and it's also how I found out what was helping my cuticles and the development of my cuticle oil, because I use a lot of different essential oils and natural oils for my hair. But again, biotin, you can find this anywhere. I buy mine from Walmart. Again, I take 5,000 mcgs. Some people have complained that biotin causes breakouts. So if you experience any problems, or in advance of experiencing any problems, I'd say just make sure you take a lot of drink a lot of water. Supposedly that helps to decrease the amount of breakouts you'll have with the biotin. So I think that's it. I think I've told you all my secrets. I will post again in the bottom my cuticle oil mix. I'll post about Influencer and anything else that I can think of that you might need to know. If you have any questions, please comment below, and also please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Grace, peace, and blessings. Bye.